Okay, right.
And
so,
you're logged into this, right? The call is recording.
The same meeting.
Okay, yeah.
Right. So on that schedule that I sent on Tuesday, Texas was included. And what
At scale or with the cap?
with at scale, assuming the cutoff, right? Everything past the cutoff, and assuming the conversion rate is at 35%.
And the cutoff is higher right now, correct?
The higher than the average other states.
So over what time frame is that cutoff going to normalize, you think? What the other?
I will need another 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks of deployment, so 10 weeks to 12
No,
weeks.
6 to 8 weeks to say that strategy works.
Period. Okay, and then you're saying that those cutoffs will probably go up?
Go up or down, I don't know yet.
Sure, fair enough. Well, hopefully it should be less conservative.
I don't know.
I thought some of the preliminary data on Texas
It is good, but we always have seen the beginning of the month it's good, and then you don't know the second half. And then for October, we didn't have the second half. We stopped it at the 20th.
Okay, so how much? So by the end of December, then you'll be able to increase cutoffs?
By the end of December, I will know the Texas performance, and then I can see up or down.
Okay, so it doesn't make a difference for now. It'll be
Right.
more next year.
So for whatever that I projected, that was a medium conservative plan, because the cutoff is higher than the Mississippi, but then lower than South Carolina, so it's in the middle. Right, because the earlier reading, it seems to be positive.
Yeah.
For the 70 loans that due yesterday, I look at the default rate this morning, it was at 22%. And then FPDR is at 15%.
Yeah.
But that can change.
Yep.
That still can change, right? It was only 70 loans. Can you draw a conclusion? I couldn't. So with that assumption, the projection that I provided was 1,800 loans, approximately $1.7 million. That is for the next 3 months only.
You mean the next 2 months only?
No, next 3. So November, December, January. So
all of January?
All of January. And then it's only slowing down February.
I thought it slows down in the last half of January.
Well, her assumption is if you bring the same one from the top, then that's how you would do it. So her assumption is not really taking into account the slowdown if it happens in January. The assumption is we will bring it from somewhere.
So
Okay.
January typically is not slowing down until, because the tax return won't hit until after February 15th. Right, so the month of February they slow down, but then even by the approaching to the end of January as a month is still a pretty good month. Okay, and then now the tax season you will have to discount it by 50%.
And you have each other's numbers, right?
Mid-February
From yesterday's presentation that we told the investors for next year?
Yes.
Did we state anything definitively for next year?
Well, we stated revenue.
No, but not shown by month.
No, that's true, but we did show revenue and EBITDA.
Yeah.
And your assumptions are built on.
Yeah.
Coming from
Hemon and I have
I
connected.
was just making sure. With and without capital.
Not without
So
capital.
without capital, I need to figure that out.
Okay.
With capital, what?
So that's the volume that's available, and then now we can maybe back into the capital that's available. From the new capital we can raise, and the capital we can reinvest.
Okay. Anything else anything else you need from them before we go to try to build out this models?
I don't think so.
How long do you guys need? So these are all the projects for the next 90 days for analytics and underwriting, correct? And IT.
I think so.
Related to IT.
I need to talk to the group about, because I think we have a little bit more data right now. We are ready to explore some of those machine learning methodologies. You need data. This is a machine is stupid.
And everybody knows that the IT projects meeting is at 4 p.m.
And this is outside of that. This
Yeah,
is actually within the analytical group. We should build our own tools. So my idea is, it doesn't matter who build the model, but then your tools has to be standardized. So that it doesn't matter who build the model by me, right? Because the tool
Can take everything.
the tools are going to set the standard there. And you will have to, anybody build a model, you will have to pass the standard, and then now it doesn't matter. GP view, critical, it doesn't matter anymore. You will build up the requirements around the tools. So, I have a few ideas that, with Priyanka and Sandeep's help, it should be a set of tools that will first taking care of, how we consider the predictors are significant, and then how do we look at ability of the models, and at what point we say that model is ready to deploy, and then at what point we say that model was good enough, we can bring all the modular design. So it's really just 4 things, right? And then the number 5 will be how we validate our assumptions. So we will need to have 5 different tools built. And that's actually, of course, it will be great if Tina and her team can help us to build all the tools. But at least we have to have like a demo. And then figure out, and then that will be.
Do you need anything from us on finance?
We need some money to build this too. So what's budget that we can set aside?
She has to give you the quote.
Oh, I'm not there in this meeting at all.
Do you want to join?
Where are you going?
I don't have a session now.
Okay, so then quote out their project.
Yeah.
I'm not in this session, but I have nothing else to do. See you later, guys.
I thought I would take a nap.
Back home to Dallas.
I don't know.
Hey, Michael,
Need some money. How much?
do you want to read this before I click send?
We have the budget. Just get the quote.
New product stuff for tomorrow.
It's very high next year, by the way. Okay. Which means that Tina's getting nothing.
Tina's getting nothing.
The IT budget.
Why do you keep talking in third person?
For the.
Yeah,
Tina doesn't get any.
She just wants
Oh
to be
my
part
God,
of it.
yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to catch up.
Yeah, we're pretty much shutting down all IT with Tina.
What I accepted, because look, she
I don't know.
that the agreement she has is the one that she signed.
Or they're meeting about the volume.
No, we're not doing volume. We're doing that tomorrow. I'm marketing. I just wanted to know some of the assumptions.
I am with
Yeah, under which she has 16 payments remaining.
We don't have to go all the way.
What her resolution is, I'll give you 500 and we're gonna close it. But she has.
What did you do?
I would say, let's change this. Let's say, Ms. Gunner has signed the one payments.
Agreement, under which, wait, agree.
By the way, it's cold in here. We have tried to contact her several times.
Like at some point, I feel like I need like a pizza for all the things.
As a show of good faith,
Yeah,
we
we
have,
need to build like application.
put her account on hold and will not draw any payments.
Well, she asked us to revoke it.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I
Okay. So we are not debiting her, we're no longer debiting her account.
Yeah.
And have.
Until further.
When's your
contact.
meeting?
So further,
Do you schedule with Desiree with everybody?
Yeah, I would say, we don't have her account period, we've tried to reach her. via phone.
Hopefully has this format been more productive?
I usually call it.
Well, it was still more productive for us too.
His recap was good, but
For the response, and we'll continue to attempt.
We don't need a recap.
Yeah, we can skip the recap next time onwards.
Yeah,
you'll have a sense for it.
right,
Alright,
I think I remember what happened last quarter.
all right.
awesome, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Last quarter was good. This quarter is also good. The quarter before that was not good.
Oh, you didn't want us to retreat.
Yes,
Okay. It's like last quarter was the worst quarter
not performance.
of the entire
retreat.
company so far.
No.
It was the worst quarter. It's all relative. It was the worst quarter. It's all relative.
It won't.
You mean until the worst one comes in?
Yeah,
Is that what you're talking about?
Pretty much.
Till now, that's
So far, he's like, so far.
Not relative.
How do you define last quarter? What month to what month?
That's quarter.
Q3 of the calendar year.
June to.
Oh, I'm not in.
Jan,
Can't include you.
This past quarter or?
July, August, September.
Where are you on?
July, August, September.
Like, is there another breakout session this happening?
Yes, right there.
That was because the volume is close.
Well,
August, that was September is all.
there were multiple reasons why it was.
Everything. All of the above. Everybody failed. Cap markets failed, marketing failed, underwriting failed. It's gonna fail. The whole company failed. But if that's failure, we're doing pretty damn good.
No, we can't repeat.
Like worst case scenario in recession, we are like making so much money.
I can't wait for Elizabeth Warren to get elected.
It's recording.
It's recording.
Yeah, recording.
I've been caught on tape how many times. I'm gonna vote for Elizabeth Warren so we can have a recession.
I'll take a picture. My work picture.
Yeah,
Maybe we should tell them, like, we have made the entire company vote for it. Half of us can't vote, but still they're gonna vote.
I can't vote, she can't.
Oh my God.
Our travel costs are really expensive, aren't they?
Why can't you vote?
You can't vote?
Trump said no.
I can vote, yeah.
Trump said no.
Yeah. Bogus voting, yeah, I'll get the.
I'm gonna go join that workout.
I can see why.
Why is that?
I don't know. Out of here, you're gonna give me.
Okay, so, yeah, so, you know, pretty much that was it, right? So we need, 5 pieces of program, for, you know, the topics that I just mentioned. So, I would like those to be developed in, Python, right? Because I think the younger, you know, the modelers or analysts coming to our company is gonna be used that tool more than anything.
Python?
Yeah, use the Python. And then, so, you know, building any model at all, right? So when we have to talk about building the model can be a linear model, meaning, I don't mean the OLS, I don't mean, you know, the fitness. I mean the outcome. It could be a continuous attribute, and then it could be categorical. So the model the program to select those attributes for predictors, they have to be different. So I can imagine, you know, depending on the outcome, then your selection should be a different procedure, right? And, you know, that should be a standalone, you know, a step that it doesn't matter who's building the model step number 1, you will try to select a subset of the predictors that make sense to our prediction. And that should be dictated by our program. So, and, you know, only when you have standard, you have the quality. Otherwise, you have no quality, right? Because people are so busy, how are you going to monitor and make sure, you know, because we will have more analysts coming to the group, right? So, I have the idea, and I probably have some of the programs that I have in R, but I don't have any program in Python. So it's really up to you three.
That's easier for translated. If you have something in R, it'll be pretty good.
In R. Yeah, I probably can send, but, you know, it's
Can you give me a sense for like what kind of, like, how are you
Yeah, so-
assessing that, for example?
Right, so for example, if you are like a categorical, right, let's say binary outcome. Binary outcome is kind of easy. So the traditional way, or even in the machine learning way, you have an entropy, which is a physics idea. So you will have the entropy to rank order the people with the magnitude, right, because they change quite a bit. And so that could be our step 1. In the past, when we build models within SAS, we don't actually manually go over those attributes either. Because the big data, the concept's always been there. We have to go through thousands of attributes, and then you pick the top 50. How do you pick it? So the entropy, in my mind, is a very sufficient, efficient way. Right? And then on the entropy, then you can build up, you know, for every attribute, what is your KS, right? Maximum distance between the cumulative good and the cumulative bad. So that could be another thing. And then you also have the information value or the weight evidence. I can provide all the formula. And then for entropy, though, I think there should be packages within R or Python that's available already.
Yeah.
We just have to put them together.
It's straightforward to do it, yeah.
Right.
Actually, the same thing is available on Microsoft's platform. You did it, right? You didn't do anything, Microsoft?
Yeah.
No?
No,
Azure
I
platform?
so I don't want them to be platform dependent. I want them so that we have the code, right? Because one day, if, you know, they started to charge us money or they change things, then we don't have control. So I would rather you can call a package, that'll be fine. But let's have everything within our Python program so that people can just put it up, right? I don't want to monitor everywhere. So when we build a model, that's our engine. Everybody work on the same platform. And then you call the same program, right? And that becomes your step 1, you have to do it, right? And I don't, so now the whole idea is that, you know, like the model can be built by the machine. However, the analyst should still understand the data. Because our data is not unlimited. Our data is still limited, right? And it is not doing, TensorFlow or, you try to recognize the pictures. It's not that. Our target is very clearly defined. So if our analysts don't understand our data assets, it's very dangerous. That means, nobody knows what's going on. Nothing. We have to still be able to understand our model, the data, the attributes, strong things, things that we want to do. So that one will be picking the attributes. So for the binary, it is the entropy. For the continuous outcome, so I would leave to you guys, maybe you have some idea, how to pick. Typically, it's going to be the correlation.
Yeah, we've done correlation.
Yeah, or you look at the magnitude, right? The T-score, the F-score.
Yeah, so, yeah, we have some of the standard ones. I think the question will be, we have a few different metrics. How do we want to prioritize based on that?
Right.
One thing I also do is in some way, correlation will capture that. So like, if you're, the metric you're predicting itself is binary versus different, this is variables, and let's just think about how you want to go about something like that.
So for the binary, it's been well tested, right? So
entropy log,
the entropy, the
chi-squared,
the information value, they pretty much provide the same ranking value.
Sorry, I was thinking more. Do you want to think of it differently when the predictor is binary versus continuous? So let's say, right?
So predictor, yes, but still, if they can separate, the entropy can.
So that entropy works, but if let's say what you're predicting is continuous versus your predictor is categorical, again, correlation won't work.
Right. So if your dependent variable, your y.
Yes.
Okay. So your y, if your y is continuous, then it is a linear model. If your y is categorical, then it is a classification problem, right? So these two has to be separated when we do the tools to pick the predictors. For the continuous, you look at the correlation or the F test or the T test, right? For the categorical or the binary one, binary, not the categorical yet. For the binary, we use the entropy and the information value and the KS.
So then I want to make a distinction. Then there are some which are categorical, as in, let's say it's region, right? Region 1, region 2, region 3, region 4. So that's different than
yes, no.
Or even 1, 2, 3.
Yes,
for
that's
example,
different than
right?
yes, no. Yes, no is always the probability, right? So if you have more than 2, then it becomes the multinomial.
Correct. You need to still do something along those lines.
So multinomial is very hard to have something to say because something works for this session. It's really different than the because the probability adds to 1, right? So I think it's not very likely for us to build that model. When we actually have to build that model, then we'll just leave it to the GBM to decide, or a random forest tree. So you can do the category. But for whatever that we typically build for models, 95% of the time it should be the continuous or the yes no. I think 95% is yes no, maybe 2% for the continuous. When are you going to predict a continuous attribute? Other than you try to mimic people's income or the wealth, right? So let's worry about this too. And if we actually have to do categorical 4 or 5 outcomes, then we'll probably just leave it to the trees or the machine learning, not to worry about this. There's no good way to predict it.
And I think I like that. I think this can't be stringent enough that I think we need to be able to have the machine learning model tell us what they want.
Right. Yeah. So, but this is actually not going to be conflicting with the machine learning because machine learning, the step 1, right, the relative inference is doing the same thing. It is still, you can have 3,000 attributes, but then, 90% of them don't contribute, right? But with the entropy, I just want to have the analysts get into the habit of understanding what they're playing, right? And then you don't have to do any of those. You just put it to GBM, they still do models, right? But in the process, I don't think it's a very good process anyway. You will have a chance to look at, the rank ordering, and then now you actually know the data, and next time if something happens, you're very funky, you have to use your brain, right? If you have a brain, look at that, right? Something's wrong, you have to explore or research. Something may be just fundamentally wrong with the data provider many times. So that's the tool number 1, right? And then the tool number 2 will be, you build a model. Okay, the model can be built many different ways, right? Ensemble is actually better when you have machine learning model. You definitely want to have the ensemble features there because now building it is not such a tedious work for a modeler to build it manually. So you build an ensemble or you build it just a tree or many trees, whatever way. You build it, that's good. But whatever you build, fundamentally, always there's a bias. You always try to overfit, underfit. So we will have to have a way to say, hey, you have to do validation. Okay, and then we have to have a way to judge how the model stability is predictive, right? So that will be the KS program that I would like. And we also can include the confusion matrix.
Yeah,
Right.
ROC,
Yeah, so you can see, like, what is the percentage of you getting right? If you predict yes, no, and your percentage is 50, you didn't do anything, right? You cannot be more than, you have
because
to,
we are predicting something that
yes, no, right?
we can be, today we can be 75% correct because our FPD is 25.
Right.
So random flip will get you 80% accuracy.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
It's not a problem.
Right, but we are not talking about, you or me, we've been building model our life, right? We're talking about the next 5 years, where we have new analysts coming in.
Yep.
How are we gonna ensure, the quality is gonna be always consistent, right? So at a time, like even Priyanka won't be model anymore, because
One day.
right? You have, right, because you will have like younger ones coming in, right? But then, the fundamental has to still be there. The methodology might be different. So I still want to have a way to judge the model. The model has to be a score.
So then your two things, one is confusion, or the way I think about it, the ROC AUC curves, right?
Yeah,
Those are two, or log loss, those are the two typically.
Those should all be there. The confusion, the divergence, the Gini, the KS, right? But what is actionable, it has to be projection. The projection, it has to be the KS table. Because then I can tell, going down to the deciles, right, or whatever the quintile, whatever way that you want to slice and dice, my model ranks. Otherwise, the model is just an equation. If it's random everywhere, it is not a model. I don't really care who builds it. Whoever builds it, the model has to rank order. Meaning the top decile, the top 5% has to separate very well, right? And even the bottom 5% is separate very well. It's just a matter of separating what from where, right? So your top decile, and let's say we target our FPD, right? If you build a model, your top decile has only 1% FPD there. Your bottom decile, you have 99% of FPD there. Guess what? You know that because they're your brothers. You're not that good, right? But that's the rank ordering. So that you can see by cutting out the bottom 50%, I get rid of 30% of the total FPD. That's the projection. So any model at all, you have to have a way to project out. Otherwise, you don't get to call it a model, right? Because model is just rank ordering system. If you don't rank, you don't have a system. So that will be our second program that we actually have to program up in Python. So I gave you the R code to create the KS.
We should have this one in our code already. Because we're looking at ROC.
This ranking things is the KS.
No, KS, I agree, but ROC is the confusion matrix is there, log losses there, I think we'll build on this one.
Yeah, right. So now the KS has to be separated from the total overall, right? So you have 3 different populations there you build, you validate, and then you outer type sample, right? So the KS has to be like doing the overall, right? Add together, and then your predictive, and then your holdout, and then your outer time. So I can imagine you 4 or 5 KS program, and then you spit it out to Excel. Because you still need
You
to.
think talking cross validation,
Yes.
and
So
full cross validation on this?
the model has to be built on a subset tested by, and then subset tested by the outer time, right?
Correct.
And then this program should run, and then you spit out 3 tables all at the same time.
3 being
The development, the holdout, and then the outer time, right? So now you just do it 3 times, a different population. You build here, you predict here and there, right? And then now you still have to say, so my development cost is fantastic, right? And then now the holdout sucks. How much does it suck? Can I still use it? Right? And that's the 3 tables that it will tell you if the model is working, right? So that will be our second second tool, right? And then after that, then so that's the stability. And then so now the number 3. So these 2 actually already taking care of that model's working, right? So now the number 3 will be, it doesn't matter the title, right, that we're building, but it should be able to speed out code in C++ or whatever language. So that
Don't-
Tina is easy.
No, not required.
No.
Build it in Python itself. Just package it to a web service. That's what I'm asking. Don't spit it out
Well,
into
we
a
have to
feature.
do it, we have to do it for the underwriting side. Because on the underwriting, if the moment if like if there's a way we can say, okay, those are the splits. We agree, right? Once we build a model, we agree with the split that the model is not just a black box. You know, it's a combination of the black box and then, you know, the analyst's judgment, right? So now we agree, and then this model has to be okay by, what's her name? Ilya? Ilya, right?
Yeah, Lil, yeah.
Yeah, so she has to look at it, right, and explain it. For the marketing side, you don't, but for the underwriting, this, you always have to, otherwise, you know, the legal, they always try to find troubles. So in a way, we still have to explain the split. I know Psycho, Fair and Experience and TU, when they build the model for the underwriting, they also use the machine learning. Eventually, they'll go back to the beginning and try to see if we can find a split. And if you can output, you know, the tree to the PMML to C++, you find the split, right? And then at this point, you can explain the split. Because you can find a split and then you can reverse engineer it. Right, so that will be, you know, because the split is actually associated with a weight.
Yeah,
If it's
exactly.
like negative or positive, and then you can tell what it's doing, right? So that will be number 3, not for your benefit, but for us to be able to say, we are very comfortable, it is truly machine learning, but legally abiding, right? We are abiding with all the laws, and we are not a violation of anything. Our model has the transparency of anything, just like everybody else is doing. You have to have that, right? So this one, I think in my old company, for a few years, they have been doing it. And I saw the model, output it to the C++ language. So it's just like if else. I don't know how they make it happen. I don't know how they do it, because it was always, we have this support team. You know, it was in the R language. So I don't know how they do it. You know, I just don't have the
PMML,
predictive model.
Two C++ tools are available.
The tools are available, right? Yeah. So I just don't know how to.
How does it go to PMML?
Yeah.
I'm not understanding that.
I thought something generates PMML for you.
So the PML is a package within R, but I think in the old way, we just after. So that's the bad thing, right? So after everything's built, they package it up. I don't even know how they put the pieces together. But when I do know the PML. When I research PML, it can read it to JavaScript or C++. It can read to different language, and I can even run it. But it comes with, you know, like a bunch of the markup language. I don't know how to translate the markup language to C++.
We'll check it.
But for that there is a tool available. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you can generate PMML, there is a tool available that is
Okay.
related to C++.
Yeah, I see. Right. So for the PMML, it's not hard at all. You know, I think I provided like some kind of example, right?
Yeah.
You can just link that to the model. You just do the PMML, and then we just split out quite a bunch. And I don't know my God. I don't really know what to do with it. So, but once we can translate it with the model, let's say you eventually ended up with 30 attributes there, right? And with many splits. Eventually they have to agree with something, right? Or we can say that has picking out 95% of predictive, and that's how we declare our model. And then I explain it, and I feel very comfortable. That would be it. So that pretty much will be the 3 programs that we have to worry about.
1 and 2. So I think, and then 1 and 2 is definitely in our ballpark, right? Priyanka and I, we can, I mean, if you give us R, great.
Yeah.
But that's something we can figure out. That's
Okay,
not,
right. So now,
we'll need to find the way. PMML, I don't know the answer.
right. So now, once we build a model, build the tools, right?
You have a package.
In Python.
Okay, so for one, for my understanding, I think there's a little bit of difference between what she's saying and I think what you have. That's why I'm asking. What did you understand by one?
Yeah, so I think I'll tell you where there's a difference in my head. I think The word tool is the confusion I have, because
Yeah.
the right, that's I guess where I need to align on.
Yeah.
I can think about building an entire Python code where it can go take all the variables, figure out continuous versus ordinal versus whatever, we need to run all the tests, it spits something out, I can do a code. But I presume this needs to have some sort of front end, which is what you're gonna have to build.
No, it doesn't. So it can still stay within Python, but we make it a tool so that people don't change the underlying.
Variables,
So you
it
would just
needs
say,
to be,
state has
so
that.
give it an input
right?
and then spit something
Yeah,
out.
so in
That's
her
the tool.
mind, in her mind, you don't do programming. So the tool will give you the set of the data set that you can use. So it will give you all the tables. You can choose which.
No, you don't even have to do that. So the analyst come in and say, that's the path, that's my data.
Yeah,
that I want to analyze.
you give the tool the data. There's a set of Python packages that you can use. So you choose the Python packages that you want to use and give, for each package you have a list of variables that you have to feed in, right? So, you can feed in those variables and that tool will actually create the model. You can refine it using that tool. So model in the sense creates the.
So step one is to tell the analyst, hey, those are the 30 attributes, right? Or the rank ordering of all the analysis attributes. You have 3,000.
Zitrun?
That's the rank ordering of the 3,000 from number 1 to number 3,000.
I don't know too much
Are you
analysis.
talking about the UI that we have in SAS, wherein we just select the variables and then we can convert them to categorical or
No.
No, are you
So
talking about like this? Like I give a simple model with a set of data.
Let me just write it.
Can I remind everybody, Tilak is on the phone, okay, so if you want Tilak to chime in, he's on the phone.
Hi, Tilak.
Hey man.
Right. So in my mind, right, a tool, does it right? Right? So there's going to be a big chunk of code, right? This belongs to the tool, nobody changed here, right? But what is changing is like your data set name, right? Your data set, this change, right? And then your dependent variable, this change, because sometimes it's response, sometimes it's conversion, sometimes it's FPD, right? So this change. And then your output, right? So output, what are you going to say? Because eventually this one will output to a rank ordering, right? From number 1 to number 3,000, right? So that's the output path.
Okay.
Those are the three things the analysts come in and change. Everything else will happen here, right? So this is the data set. I define the dependent variable as such, and then everything else is not the dependent variable. That's just rank ordering them. Everything else might be categorical, might be continuous, maybe just binary.
You have to also select which package you want to use, right?
No,
Random
that's determined by the tool.
Oh, that's determined by the
Yes,
tool.
that's determined by the tool.
That's where I have a confusion. How is the tool intelligent to figure out
So
whether
the
it needs to use the gradient, whatever, or random
Because
form?
it will know. No, hold on. So there are a few things.
Yeah.
Let's just talk step number 1 now, which is, that's what this is, right? You give it the data, it's gonna rank order based on what we think is the best practice, and rank order 3,000 variables to give you top to bottom, right? That's what this is supposed to do.
Okay.
And I'm saying I can build that, if today I can write the code in Python, right? But what we're saying is that somebody can tweak this,
Yes.
and hence we need a tool.
Hence we need a tool.
And what is this tool built in?
Right.
You can put
So
it in
now,
any language.
these are the three things that determine the rank ordering of the list of attributes here. We determine by the entropy. We determine by the KS and relative inference.
So if we'll have to tell this tool that whether it's a classification model or
No, it's gonna look at the dependent variable and figure it out.
Yeah, so it could be just
the output. I'm saying the output, the dependent variable.
yes,
It can figure out from the dependent variable, right? If it's a continuous or an ordinal one.
or you can just split to two tools. 2B, 2C, B is binary, C is.
You can, worst case, you split it. I don't care, right? I think it's small.
So I just want to agree with this. This can grow in time, right? But when the end is coming in, they don't know a thing about modeling yet. Those are the three programs. You just have to force them to use it. That's why it's a tool. It's not determined by the analyst, it's determined by the experts already. Go there, run this, so now you have this rank ordering of the 3,000 attributes right in front of you. So that becomes a tool. The analyst only changed this part.
So So what are you building? I don't understand. That's the question I don't have, because obviously, as you know, right, in our Python, we can write the entire thing, right? We can write a function, call that function, give it the 1, 2, 3, and it's going to spit something out.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I want.
So that's it. There's nothing for you to do then.
There's nothing for you, but if your programmers are better programming this, then they can program. You know, the thing is like, if Sandeep too busy, Priyanka's too busy, that's the tool I would want to create.
Tool means what?
Tool means
programming the whole thing.
Just the code.
Tool means it's reusable. Everybody can use it.
Right now, what we are
So
doing
the
is
thing
we are.
is, is there like
Oh,
can you put this in like an executable? Somebody can just refer it and then
Oh,
give it
yeah,
something
sure.
like that.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
There's no
Tool
UI.
means I was looking at what
Right.
UI.
That's why I
where
was
you
saying
can
I need some.
Yeah.
And that's what, you know, like progressive, right? For the
Okay,
insurance
okay.
company, you have 4,400 statisticians. Everybody do their own thing. Nobody can agree with anybody. You have to have some standard. So now you can talk, you know, the model. It has to have some kind of standard, right? So that's the standard. Our company has that. At this moment, I say entropy, the chaos, the inference value, relative inference. You're welcome to add on to it and say, hey, you're all wrong. There's a new measurement out there you don't know, right? I don't know everything, of course. Let's just add it on. So now the tool can be very flexible in time, but then the measurement has to be something that agrees, right? We agree and then say, okay, you know what? I view this because I picked the top 30 attributes already by the standard. So now I have more confidence, right? Because it will have more data assets and nobody can understand all the data, right? How are you going to argue? But by the standard, then I don't have to argue, right? So that's
That's what I'm saying. I think it just makes sense to be this in Python anyway, because the next thing once they do this is like, can you feed this into a model? That's the step 2. That's the next
Yeah.
tool, right?
So now that's step 1, right? And then step 2 will be, what did I say step 2? Step 2 was the KS program, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
The cross
So
validation.
it is the same thing here. The KS can be by the model score or by any single attribute. It's the same thing. You know, the cumulative good minus the cumulative bad. That's the KS, right? Bigger the KS, better the separation. And that's why it is always, you know, the significance, right, by the entropy, bigger the significance, better the separation, right? So now you run order it, right? So now by entropy, by KS, everybody agrees this is the number 1 attribute. You build a model with the number 1, I am very comfortable, right? So KS, you know, that's the tool for rank ordering, right? And then you have a tool for the KS projection table. The example I gave to Priyanka already. So with the projection table, now you can say, I want to control the volume this way. I want to have projectile only 20% FPD. I have this much volume. The top 40% cumulated to 20% FPD. If I go down, then the FPD will become 25% as I go down. The overall is going to be 4, right? So where are you going to cut off? That's the projection table would help, right? And these are and everything has to be from the Python. And when I say it's like 3 steps, actually when you build a model, it's only 1 step. You go and everything, just read it out. You have the KS table in front of you already, right? Yeah, and then now you can tell by 1 single attribute. My KS was already 15. Your whole model has only actually 8. Something happened. It's wrong, right? So now you don't actually have to worry about what's wrong. Something's wrong, and it's just a hint. So now you can go back and double check your work, right? Okay, that's the 1, 2, and 3. That's the PMML for reading out the split, right? So now, because actually it is a combination of the human and the machine, because you want to control the stability. So now you look at the model, you look at the holdout, and your development, and your out of time sample. They all have the KS of 15, right? That's the version that's stable. Because what you're hoping is your drop, at least your holdout and your out of time sample, they don't differ, right? Your development, of course, is like huge, whatever, you don't even look at. But can you be stable over time? That's from your KS, and that's the model that you're gonna agree and then you spit out. So we can tell Lydia, translate to English, because you can spit it to the PMML, somebody else can program it, then it's readable. Right? So those are the 3 tools.
PMML will work off for ensemble model too.
Yeah, it works. It was on ensemble. It's just a matter of how you build ensemble. So when we build the ensemble for the marketing, I'm gonna allow 3 levels, and then I'm gonna allow like 3 or 4 levels, right, the depth. And then also I allow the interaction to be between 2 levels. That will be okay because we don't explain it. But because we say we use the machine learning for underwriting too, the underwriting model can only be a weak learner, just as them. And I'm not gonna allow the interaction. Guess what? It is just a tree, right? But because if the tree was built many times, it picks the most stable one. And that's the split I'm gonna use. So we just have to know the tree. If you use more than 1 level, if you allow more than 1 level of the interaction, the split gonna be very granular, but it's still readable. Because at the end, you don't really have that many predictors that separate, right? So now, within this, somewhere, it will tell me all the correlation between the variables, right? This doesn't matter if you're building the tree. The correlation, it doesn't matter. But when you build the regression, the correlation can cause you the VIF being too high. That's the multicollinearity, right? Or, okay, the splits won't care. You use the continuous variable, the multicollinearity is gonna hurt. And that's why many times when you see, your maximum effect, right, your magnitude, actually don't agree with your trend. So you have the single table, right? The single table goes down, right? As the attribute go up, your FPD goes down. So you show that kind of relationship there, but your magnitude is still a positive, which is go the other way. That's because it's caused by multicollinearity, right? So the N should be part of their job to look at the correlation between the predictors they pick for typical whatever model that you build, right? So that will be another tool. So but anyway, so those are going to be 3 tools like in the forecast. Who's gonna build it? I know that very well on theory. I won't be able to build it in Python at all. And should we put a time period to it? ETA?
Sure. 1 and 2 will put an ETA, 3.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
3 is still up for research. So how about Tina? You take 3.
PM.
I don't know what PM is.
But you said you have a PMML.
Let me, you give me the PMML, I'll give it to you in C++. How's that?
Okay.
That's,
Yeah.
Somebody
but
create the
somebody-
PMML.
That's fine. All I'm saying is, I think
Research and then.
Yeah, somebody
we
take
need to figure out the ETA on that thing.
Generate PMML. Generate and give. I'll give it
Yeah,
to you.
so I will work with you for the PMML part, and Priyanka and Sandeep's gonna work on the other 2. How about that?
Hey, and while we are on this topic, whatever model you
hire
guys
someone
are
for
creating,
a reporting.
can you make it?
I don't know how to
Given
make
us
a
a lot of
bill.
work.
Before you ask me.
It's for you to do.
I can find out. I haven't done it. I'll do it. I don't know.
But
how to do
last time she couldn't do it.
Sure.
I've never had to do it until now. I've used this model as is for everything in my life. I learn and do it. I don't know how to do it.
So what?
To convert a model to a webhook, I haven't done it.
Not
that's
webhook,
What is it?
that's
web service.
Fine, like it's all potato potato at this point. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's always
you can call it whatever you want.
ask God, judge God, whatever you
The
want.
way you're saying it sounds more like you should be doing what I should.
Yeah.
Just say,
letting him know how to do it, you should just do it.
No, I know that's the way to go.
Are we good? Did you guys wrap up? Can we start my thing?
Like, I don't do web or server. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, okay, then let's keep it like that,
We can use some tool to do that.
Tool to do it, yeah, that's what I was
You're
thinking.
building that tool now.
No, go off the shelf tool. Okay.
All right, I
So when
believe
you
you.
build a model, what is the extension that you get?
Python.
Dot py.
P and py and py.
Just dot py.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we have to import in .exe and we have to use Flask to create a web service.
exe I don't want. I don't know
Yes,
exe.
you want, if she wants that Flask, project.
Yeah.
It's
Actually, that sounds like what you should be doing.
Hey, if we have the,
Okay,
if we have the PMML figured out, then that's the programming logical.
She's gonna.
It is near real time.
I hear you.
Python is close.
I hear you. I feel like.
So if you speed out the program, the model to PMML in the C language. She takes it, that's it.
Well,
No.
I think we are too far on that one.
Yeah, you told me.
I think you're right, logically, completely right. I feel like execution-wise, they're a bit far
Why?
away.
Why? So you don't change a thing, it's in the C language that you use already. You're not responsible for the model.
I know, I don't want to build it, because you guys are building it. I want to just consume it as it is.
This
That's
is
what
not
I'm looking.
building, isn't it?
It is building, because a C
You call it.
code will not execute on its own. It has to be in an executable format, either in the form of a web service or an EXE.
Okay, so you lost me. I give you this, the logic. You put it to the whatever script. You read.
Yeah, that's what I don't want.
You read it to the
That's
people.
what I don't, that's the step I'm trying to.
We don't need it with us, not against us.
I know, I
You
think
are
it's
friends,
easy
come
for.
closer, right? This is the time you need to be closer again. Me out of the way.
Easy for
When you let me know when you figure this out.
And that's dependent upon me. That's what I'm doing. Because if they can build a model, and if it's a,
I just let them figure this out.
Sitting right in the middle of
Yeah,
them arguing
like-
about it.
I think they both aware.
You never go in the middle.
But it just works.
But I-
It's like another control pipe for us.
Yeah.
It's another step in the water. That's what I'm trying to make.
But they
So
wouldn't
you
be
can
able to
switch in and
determine,
switch out.
we
models
wouldn't be able to
everything.
determine where to put in the waterfall. You are in charge of the waterfall.
Yeah, I'm in charge. I'll put it in the waterfall.
Yeah.
But every step in the waterfall, I don't want to program it. I want it to be, so that you guys can change models, switch in and out
Yeah.
models every day. So I don't want that to be a programming step.
The
I think
model
that's
can be
dangerous.
changed. We can change the model.
We
but
are development, we're not production.
Yeah,
We shouldn't have the
this
ability to
too-
change it.
Okay, I'm interested. Meeting adjourned. I will.
That's why I got out of the way.
Let's stop the
And you still looked at me, I'm like, I got out of the way for a reason.
Send,
Okay.
send it. You cannot be our, once you're in, you're in.
So can we guys repeat just
Action
action items so we can
So the action
I
item
need
is
to have
for
some
the,
action item which they know.
action item is for send it and to attach to field two numbers one
1 and 2.
and two. For Tina and Zitrun to research the PMML, how to integrate that.
Yeah.
How about that?
Before the PMML, I'll research the Python.
Yeah. all the-
Python to.
What was the actionable
Yeah.
item?
I know
The
where you're
actionable
going.
item is by next
That's the
quarter,
way to
hopefully
do it.
we'll
You're
have
gonna tell us that.
3 programs working to build machine
Got
learning
it?
models.
You get one person.
Yeah, you don't tell us the other one.
What is
Sorry,
here?
what
I
is-
need to add this to Asana, that's why I'm specifically asking, what's the
What's 1 and 2?
modeling tool? Modeling tool?
Software
Modeling
web server, I think.
Python
Yeah,
modeling tool. You can say Python modeling
Right.
tool creation.
Got it, got it.
Just make that happen.
Number 2,
Have
That's-
that
it's
soft
the three
diplomacy on the
together.
side. That's why like when it is a diplomatic conversation, they're like cycles.
This is for,
You can do these things that much.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, good?
Good.
You're alive.
alright.
Okay, so I don't think you need me for the next one, right? Yeah. You couldn't wait for me to go, yeah, go.
Am I there for the next one? I'm not there for the next
Are you
one.
going to?
Yeah, you are. You think you're getting away easy? But right there.
Our next one is IT
Did the work,
infrastructure.
yeah.
That's what I said.
Yes.
Yeah, hey, my next meeting is only IT
And
infrastructure.
there's some guy.
Hey, your next meeting is my meeting.
Okay, I'm gonna stop recording and start it again.
Ritika, yes, there, I can go see.